Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Mr. Badmay here with another quick tutorial. This time we're talking all about potatoes. So let's just jump into it. What's the life cycle, if you will, of potatoes? How do you plant them? How do you harvest them? How do you sell them? I'm just going to quickly run through all of those things today. So first things first, right? You're going to want your field cultivated, fertilized, all of that. I have a field here. It's about 50% fertilized, which I'm not going to worry about taking that to 100. You all get the point. But how do you plant potatoes? And can you reuse potatoes to plant more potatoes? So you would first get your seeds, air quote seeds, which would be in the form of potatoes, as you can see here. The little planter there. So what that means is once you have harvested your first set of potatoes, if you set some aside, you can actually use those potatoes to plant your next season's crop. So much like sugarcane, this is a plant once, and you do have to keep replanting, but it's a plant once and kind of feed your own. There are a few different options of planters in the game. Here you have your GL 420, your Pros 440, and then the one I have attached here is the GL 860. The big difference is going to be size. You can see this one here, 6 meters, which it doesn't cover a whole lot of ground, so I've gone ahead and picked that one up. The mid size goes down to 3, and then again 3 here, but it carries less potatoes for planting. So let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and unfold this thing. Just gonna go through its little animation here. Let's doing that. Once you've got it all unfolded and ready to go, I'm gonna go ahead and lower the planter. Pull up till we can see our lines here. And turn it on. We should be planting potatoes. As you can see behind the tractor, I'll jump out here. These deep ridges, as you all may be familiar with if you've played Farm Sim, driving over these things in another tractor when they're not yours is a nightmare. But this is a very good graphical indicator if your potatoes are indeed going in the ground. So I will go ahead and get the rest of this field planted up, and I shall be right back. All right, I've got those potatoes all planted and grown, ready to harvest. So potatoes are a little bit different. Instead of saying ready to harvest, the growth type, as you can see, the bottom right here is going to say remove foliage, and that is simply your indicator that they are indeed ready to harvest. On your map, your crop when ready. Let me go ahead and select potatoes here. We'll say remove foliage and give you this bright orange color here. So once they're ready for harvesting, you have a couple of different ways to get them out of the ground. I only recommend one, and it is a little bit steep in price, but you have the Ropa, the Grimmy, that are both towable options. But if we look at how much they cover, 1.5 meters, and that's for both of them. In addition to that, your tractor also sits in front of these, hence they're pullable. And as I mentioned while we were planting the potatoes, the terrain is rather rough. So I don't recommend, if you can avoid it, I know sometimes you can't, but if you can avoid it, don't bother with these two machines. Either lease, or if you have the money, purchase the Ventor 4150. It's this big giant looking machine I've got behind me here. This covers 6 meters as opposed to the 1.5, and it also has the wheels behind the harvester, meaning you're gonna have a nice smooth ride while this thing picks up the potatoes. Let's go ahead and demonstrate how this looks like. Go ahead and lower that down. Auto steers on. Turn it on, and off we go. And you'll see them coming out the back here into the hopper. We'll harvest just a little bit up. You can see them, they're starting to pile up. And then, you know, you might be wondering, well, what can you do with potatoes in farm sim once you have them? So you can either sell them as a raw crop, just straight potatoes, which I'll do here, or you can use them to funnel the potato factory, which will make potato chips. And then there's also, I believe, potato soup. So if you have a canning factory, you can make potato soup. There'd be one crop for two different types of factory products. And they can be quite lucrative because the yield in a properly fertilized field, the yield can be quite good. Just without this recommended machine here, it is a royal nightmare. So things for consideration. Let me go ahead and raise this up here and I'll go show you. These can usually be sold at any farmer's market. I think that's usually the number one taker. The farmer's market, unless you get into potato chips, and then you can start selling them at other production points and other sell points. But for now, we're just going to take them over here to the farmer's market. You can also offload from this machine into most trailers. Here I have a semi truck holding the crone trailer. If I get close to that, you'll see it'll start offloading there. I don't want it to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and pull forward. And we can also just simply sell them. I may have to go around the other side. Yeah. And there you have it. You see the money going up in the top right corner. Made 1,700 bucks off that little bit. Again, they can be pretty lucrative, especially when you start getting into things like the potato chips with high yield, producing lots and lots of product. So anyways, I hope this has helped, and be sure to like and subscribe if you want to catch the next tutorial. All right, take care, guys.